So imagine we're all tucked up in a cozy little bed. The bride and groom happen to walk into the church pews and embrace as the beautiful light hit her back. The groom leaned forward and suddenly looked down at her beautiful shoulder blades. The bride turned so that three-quarter lighting illuminated her face with catchlights. Then leant up for the dress, exposing her beautiful profile. Then, with the uttermost grace, she places her hands behind her and does her dress up, adjusts her shoulder, adjusts her earring, and then Jerry happened to be walking by as he caught a reflection of the mirror of her lips. Then she adjusts her headpiece, and then she leans forward, exposing her perfect bosoms and adjusting her shoes. Then, very gently, she turns her body in a way where the light falls on her shoulder blades immaculately. And in a subtle movement, she turns her face to the right to expose her eyelashes and that beautiful lighting underneath her chin and her neck. Then, spontaneously, she decides to grab the father's face and cry. And the father retaliates, picks up her hand and kisses it, as the bride and mother share a moment with their foreheads touching for an Eskimo kiss. And the bride walks down the stairs as the parents just so happen to be in the reflection of that mirror. Then the girls decide to hug and embrace as Jerry is there, because Jerry is always there. Jerry goes to the bathroom. He comes back. A doorway was slightly open as the bride places the veil over her face and the parents in perfect view. Then they walk out and the bride spontaneously decides to laugh and look left. And Jerry goes to the groom as the groom happens to just be putting on his tie with a high-key background. The boys all decide to dress the groom because, of course, he forgot on his wedding day how to dress himself. Then, to pay homage to the album that I'm trying to pay homage to, we have a photo that just happened to be in the back view, in the background, and the groom spontaneously decides to laugh as Jerry, with perfect timing, captures it at 125th of a second. Then, the family, in perfect view, decide to happily embrace as Jerry happens to be there to capture them spontaneously laughing. The father decides to make the boys laugh and lift his hands up in the air and wave them around like he just doesn't care. Then the family decides to embrace. The groom decides to lean forward with the parents hugging and the brother kissing his wife. Then, for no apparent reason, the bridal party decide to walk over a freeway. And then the boys decide to stop where the clouds perfectly silhouette them. And the groom decides to walk in a way where the sound barrier looks like a Chevrolet. That rhymed, that was really good. Then the bride decides to just roll up in the church in an appropriate way where the lighting hits her beautifully. The father spontaneously decides to escort her outside. Then Jerry decides to run. He trips, he falls. He happened to have his wide-angle lens and capture the top on the left-hand side. Runs to the other side in leaps and bounds with his cape to get the shot from the other side. He hurdles right down the church and grabs an image of the boys waiting and then the groom waiting on the right-hand side. Then the exposure was perfect for that silhouette on the left-hand side. And then, for no apparent reason, the exposure was perfect when the doors closed. Then we captured a shot of the groom and the bride and the father walking down and crying. There was movement in the church. Jerry happened to have his camera there. because of course Jerry doesn't know how to shoot photojournalistically, but he stumbled across this. In fact, he directed every single shot here. Then the unthinkable happens. Two young brothers in fact, decide to share a moment and tongue kiss during the ceremony.
Oh, that's funny.
And of course, in some countries that's illegal. And of course, if those boys were girls, if those girls were older, that would be magnificent. No filter. It's just... Then photographs were taken of the scene, then of the ceremony on one side, then the front side, then the kiss, then capturing the bride in all her elegance, a sequence of the bride and groom exchanging affection after the ceremony. And then, with pinpoint sharpness and timing, Jerry times the exposure where the flash was taken at 125th of a second perfectly. Then the bride happens to walk in this pocket of light where she embraces the father. And this gush of wind blows the veil into the camera. And the groom, in a gentlemanly display of affection, escorts the bride down the stairs. Then everybody decides to just go onto the stairs for no apparent reason. The bride and groom decide to walk forward and look back. Then get into this beautiful configuration and look at each other and laugh. And laugh again. This boy was hungry. This little girl was hungry. First he says, no, I'm not sharing. Then he says, yes, why not? Then a gush of wind comes. The veil blows. Then the bride and groom decide to walk into church. They stumbled across some beautiful light, walked into that beautiful light, and shed affection. Then, for no apparent reason, the bride walks up into the light and looks up to the heavens. So that light falls on her cheekbones and her jawline beautifully. Walks outside with the veil. Happens to stumble across the reflection of a mirror and a beautiful silhouette. Then walk past this doorway. Then someone with a video light was walking past and decided to illuminate the light of the room. Then decided to laugh for no reason. Then decided to sit down where this beautiful light was falling on them with amazing background. And then, for no apparent reason, everybody decided to gather around in the foyer. Then cut the ribbon. Then we cut the cake. Then we cut the cake again and a big view. And of course, we are nearing the end of our beautiful story. In fact, the bride and groom decide to dance. And of course, we have Mona Lisa there. And the old adage, the old saying, we don't know, in fact, if Mona Lisa is smiling, in fact. Is Mona Lisa smiling? Is she passive? Is she angry? Is she sad? What is she doing? Of course, Jerry uncovers the secret mystery that has clouded the art world for many centuries. In fact, if we crop out Mona Lisa's identity, we have a couple smiling in the foreground. We know, in fact, that Mona Lisa, in fact, is smiling.